Well, here's the thing. Brown and Massey bought it for $2 million. They then sold it for over $200 million in 1971 to an alcohol company called Heilblein. Heilblein ended up selling it to R.J. Reynolds, the cigarette company, and that was the last thing my uncle saw before he died, was the two things he hated most, alcohol and cigarettes, and his company was in the hands of both of them before he died. But anyways, my uncle sold it for $2 million, refused to take any shares in the company, so he got nothing off of the sale for over $200 million in 1971. But the parent company, Heilblein, sued him. They sued him for using his name and image on the Claudia Sanders dinner house known as the Colonel's Lady at the time, which existed before the sale to Heilblein in 1971. Brown and Massey had no problems with it. Uncle Harley owned the Canadian franchises. He would travel to Canada, stay there in Mississauga for 4 to 5 months out of the year, maintaining those franchises. The rest of the year, he came back to Shelbyville, Kentucky in the Black Hall Manor, and he operated the Colonel's Lady. Heilblein had an issue with this and sued him, so he countersued them. But he was also on the board of director of Food and Quality Control because Brown and Massey had moved Kentucky Fried Chicken headquarters to Tennessee, and my uncle had a fit over this. It resulted in Massey resigning from the board and Brown putting the Colonel on the directors of Food and Quality Control. So now the Colonel had the right to criticize the food. He had the right to do quality control. He had the right to approve or deny items on the menu. All while running that restaurant. Heilblein had an issue with this, and they also started rolling out new things. So when they sued him, he countersued them. And it wasn't for no $2 million. I don't actually know what the actual price of the lawsuit was. What I know is it was settled, not for $2 million. The Colonel was paid $1 million by Heilblein, the parent company of Kentucky Fried Chicken. In return on the settlement, he had to change the name of the restaurant and sell ownership of the restaurant. So he picked two friends, the Settles family, that worked for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and chose them, asked them if they'd buy it. They bought the restaurant and the house with everything in it. And then Uncle Harley purchased a home on L.A. Grange Road. Locals probably call it LaGrange Road. I don't know, but that's what it was. And that's where he remained from 1975 until 1980. But he got $2 million off of the sale in 1964, $1 million off of the lawsuit settlement, and that was it. He was sued again. This video has it wrong. It said 1978 was when all this went down. The early 1970s, he was sued by Heilblein. The late 1970s, he was sued again, but by a franchisee for slandering the food and calling it slop. The judge threw this out of court and said the founder would know what his quality is and could criticize it.